Hey there, my name is Ankur Rastogi. I am a recent computer science graduate from the University of Southern California, and I currently work as a software engineer at 23andMe, which is a DNA analysis company in the Bay Area, and I'll be your section lead today. Let's go ahead and get started. Today I'll be working with variables, data types, variable assignment, and a few other things. Remember that a variable is just a container that holds some value. You can give that container or that box a name. You can change the value that's in it, but ultimately it's just a box that holds some value. That'll be helpful in a couple seconds. The problem we have is the problem of a lazy astronaut, which is me. I'm going to the moon in a few weeks, and I want to know how much I'm going to weigh on the moon. I know I have to multiply my Earth weight by 0.165 to get my moon weight, but I'm lazy and I don't want to do that math by hand. So I'm going to write a program to do it for me instead. So that's the problem statement we've got. Let's go ahead and work on it together. So here are the three things that I mentioned. I want to retrieve some input weight, which is my weight on the Earth. I want to convert that into my weight on the moon. I want to print that weight back at the end. So the first thing I want to do is I want to collect the input. So remember, I can do this by saying input, and then in parentheses, I give this user some prompt, enter a weight on Earth, let's call it. And I want to store the value that input gets back in a variable. Remember, to declare a variable, all you have to do is write the name you want that variable to have. So let's call it Earth weight str. And to assign this input value to the variable, all we need is a little equal sign. So here I've declared the variable Earth weight str. And by using this equal sign and putting some value on the right side of that equal sign, I've said, hey, take this value and assign it to this variable. So now I've got my Earth weight, and let's go ahead and do the conversion into moon weight. But there's actually one thing I need to do first, and that's consider the issue of data types. If I want to do the multiplication correctly, I want to do it on a numeric data type here because I'm working with numbers, with weights. And the thing I get back, the data type I get back from input is actually a string data type. It's a text data type. So I need to convert this string into float. And the way I do that is by casting. Remember, casting involves you writing out the data type you want to cast to, and then inside of these parentheses, putting in the variable or value you're casting from or casting on. So here, I want to take my Earth weight str string data and convert or cast it into a float. And let's take that float value and put it into a new variable. Let's call that new variable Earth weight, just to create some distinction. So this str that I put in earlier stands for the string data type, and this distinguishes these two different variables. Earth weight, again, I declare a new variable by typing out a new name. I apply this equal sign, and then I say that the value on the right, this float value, I'm assigning to this variable, Earth weight. Now I can go ahead and do my conversion. You notice that on the top, I have this moon multiple equals 0.165. This is a constant that I can use. It's just another variable, basically. So I can take my Earth weight, and I can do that multiplication using my moon multiple value. That's the multiplier of 0.165. That container holds the value of 0.165. And now I want to take that converted value, that result of that multiplication, and store it, let's call it in another new variable called moon weight. So you'll notice I've been writing these lines kind of backwards. I've been taking the expression and then writing out the new variable afterwards. You definitely don't have to do that. You could say, I want to declare a new variable that's called moon weight. I want to assign some value to that variable, and then I want to write out that value that I'm going to assign to the variable. Either way is fine. I think this helps conceptualize a little bit, but eventually you'll probably just start doing it that second way. So now I've got the moon weight. Let's go ahead and print that back to the user. So prints, let's give some context, some preface for what I'm actually returning or printing out. And I just want to go ahead and say equivalent weight on the moon is, and then add to that string the moon weight variable and the value there. So we're almost done here, except for one thing, and that's the issue of data types again. So remember that input gave me a string data type, and I had to convert it or cast it into a float data type to do the multiplication correctly. Well, moon weight is still a float data type, And so if I want to add it to this string correctly, what I should do is I should cast this moon weight down here into a string data type. I can do that the same way I did on this line earlier. I just take the variable or the value I'm trying to cast, and I put the data type I'm trying to cast to outside of those parentheses. And this should be good to go. All right, that's all the time we have for now, but here's a program to convert your earth weight into moon weight. I'll catch you all later. Okay.